Why do I think asking for help doesn't help? So, for context, this video title may not mean exactly what the video title says. It means it in another way. So, context this clip.
So another big thing that people with shit life syndrome learn, and think about how devastating this is to learn. Asking for help doesn't help. Two kinds of people in life, those who ask for help and those who don't. And why does someone stop asking for help? Because they learn it's useless. All of the thoughts and beliefs that you have in your mind if you have shit life syndrome are warranted. They are justified. That does not make them right.
And yeah, I was thinking that and thought that it was interesting, right? This is what I mean with why do I think asking for help doesn't help. This is not like why do I it's like asking myself the question, why do I think that asking for help doesn't help? As in, where does that belief come from, right? I don't want to say that it's the right belief. It's just that I have it, right? For some reason, I don't like to ask for help. And I'm not sure where the belief comes from. And that is what I want to explore in this video, or that I want to ask those questions to myself to see if I can get to the bottom of this, or if I can at least start asking the right questions or whatever. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT this. What are some questions I can ask myself to learn why do I think asking for help doesn't help? And it gave some interesting things. It asked about early experiences. What are my earliest experiences asking for help? How did my parents respond when I needed help? Do I see asking for help as a sign of weakness, and why, right? That is important also. How do I feel about my competence? Do I trust others to provide the help I need? Why or why not? Interesting question as well. Have I been let down by others when I've asked for help in the past? This is like a big question, right? What are my beliefs about self-sufficiency? Do I have high expectations for myself? And then here, when I have asked for help in the past, what was the outcome and did it meet my expectations, right? So a lot of asking about expectations. What emotions do I experience when I consider asking for help? How does my cultural background influence my views on asking for help? Also interesting. Do I worry about burdening others with my problems or needs? How do I think others feel when I ask them for help? I think there are also counterparts, which are like, how have I felt in the past when I have been asked for help, right? I think some there, it... So yeah, some things about culture, about burdening others, and how I think others feel when I ask them for help. But yeah, I mentioned the thing about reversing it, right? So how do I feel when others ask me for help? I think that is also an interesting part of the question, right? Maybe there is something that warps the way you think about help. And then a couple of reflective exercises or whatever that I may or may not go into, because I'm not sure if I want to dive too deep into that, but yeah. As an exercise in general, it's an interesting exercise. What were my earliest experiences with asking for help? Were they positive or negative? How did my parents or guardians respond when I needed help as a child? I can't recall anything right now, so I'm not sure if I'm like blocking stuff or whatever, or if it was just not that remarkable. So yeah, nothing comes to mind right now. I think that I didn't need a lot of help with school stuff and all this. I think I did that pretty well. I can't recall things where I needed help like super urgently or whatever. So I think that if I just needed help, I probably asked someone. I kind of got it or whatever. I don't know. I remember maybe some parts that I didn't like, where like I cried a lot and people didn't like that I cried. Like always, people were always saying like, don't cry, don't cry. My parents as well, right? So maybe that was not good in that sense, in this help sense. Like if I cry, it's because something is wrong. And if you tell me don't cry, like you are not solving the thing that's wrong, right? I don't know. Maybe that can be something related to this. Do I see asking for help as a sign of weakness or incompetence? Why? How do I feel about my abilities and competence in general? Am I afraid of how others will perceive me if I ask for help? I don't know. I don't think I see asking for help as a sign of weakness, or maybe I kind of do. Relating to something like here, like do I value independence or something like that? I do hold independence to a high standard. I wish I was like that. I am not, but it is something that I wish I was, and that I have been wishing to be independent for a long time, I guess. Even if I don't take a lot of steps towards that, it is maybe something that I hold in high regard and that I respect. So maybe the opposite I do not respect, or I respect less. And yeah, regarding empathy, for example, I think I am empathetic, right? Relatively empathetic. So even though I do hold the blah 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 to a high regard or whatever, like in practice, I think I am empathetic and that I put myself in other people's shoes, and that more than others who I think do it less. I think other people are. I am self-absorbed in a lot of ways. I am making streams, making videos about myself and all that, but I think I can put myself in other people's shoes, and I try to learn what other people's experiences are like in a pretty raw way, right? So first person POV type shit, right? Meanwhile, others seem like less into that and are more like quick to judge. And for example, I don't know, if someone is poor, they should just work or whatever, right? And instead of asking, okay, how does it actually feel to be poor, right? How does it actually feel to be in that situation? And that kind of shit, right? How do I feel about my abilities and competence in general? I don't know. I don't feel, at this moment, I don't really feel very well about that. I don't feel like I'm very skilled or competent at anything, to be honest. Am I afraid of how others will perceive me if I ask for help? I'm not sure. I also have not defined where do I need help or anything like this, right? So without those definitions, this video is pretty abstract, right? It's just talking in general about general things. But it probably depends on like the category of thing, right? Maybe I could ask for help. I could ask for help in some things. Caring less about how I'm perceived. For example, I care less about asking how I'm perceived when asking for a job on Twitter, right? I tweet my website about hire me all the time. That is asking for help in a way. But I don't care how others will perceive me in that sense. But in other senses, I do maybe care more about how others will perceive me if I ask for help in certain things. Or yeah, for example, I do care about my parents thinking certain things about me and whatever, right? So in that sense, I am afraid of how others will perceive me if I ask for help. In others, I'm less afraid. And the things keeping me from asking for help are maybe others, right? Maybe it's in some places it's the abilities and competence, and in some places it's the caring of being afraid of how others will perceive me. Trust and relationships. Do I trust others to provide the help I need? Why or why not? I think this is true in many cases, right? I do in both the cases that I was thinking of, in more personal things and also in like the employment thing. For example, I do not trust. I think I do not trust the people that know me to have the opportunities that I want. And why? Because I don't know, they don't seem to care, right, about what is actually going on, about in a couple of levels deeper, right? And also, or they don't seem to be connected in the right circles or something like this, right? They don't seem to have the necessary information themselves. So how could I trust them to give me help, right? I don't know. Maybe something like that. Have I been let down by others when I have asked for help in the past, right? So yeah, I think this is where it differs, I guess, with the video that I showed before. This video was kind of focused on that, right? It was kind of focused on people asking for help who have not received it. And in my case, I don't think I have been let down by others when I have asked for help. It's more of the trust thing above, right? I just do not feel the trust that I can receive the help in the first place, so I don't ask it in the first place, right? I think that is more what's going on. Do I feel comfortable being vulnerable with others? And this is another sense in which I do not, right? Which would be interesting to go into, but obviously for obvious reasons I won't go into in this video. But yeah, in many scenarios, I don't feel vulnerable. I don't feel comfortable being vulnerable with some people, and with the people that I do feel comfortable being vulnerable with, I don't know. It's over quickly. I don't know, for some reason. There are not a lot of options. Like they have not a lot of instances of this. So I don't have like a lot of n equals basically like 1 or 2 maybe. So yeah. Do I feel the need to be in control at all times? How does it feel for help impact? How does asking for help impact this need? I don't think I'm super like this, but maybe a little bit. Right? I did say the thing that I hold autonomy in high regard or whatever. So maybe that is something like that going on. Maybe independence or autonomy or being in control are kind of proxies for something else in this context, right? Maybe someone could say like entitlement, for example, in the job sense. I don't get a job because I feel entitled for a better one. Maybe I don't know. Or losing autonomy and independence. I don't know. Or being in control in those cases. I don't feel like expectations and beliefs. What are my beliefs about self-sufficiency and handling things on my own? Do I have high expectations for myself that make it hard to admit that I need help? I think the high expectations for myself may be true. I do have, I don't know, I do want success and all that, right? I do want a job that is not in the fucking poverty line or whatever, right? I don't want to start like that. I don't know. I don't want all the time that I have derailed myself from regular career paths or whatever to be for nothing to start right at the beginning of the same old career path as someone else, but later. Maybe I care too much about timelines or something like this. I don't know. What are my beliefs about self-sufficiency and handling things on my own? I don't know. I hold them as in high regard, as I said, but I don't actually do anything that self-sufficiently, or I don't actually take responsibility for many things. So, when have I asked for help in the past? What was the outcome? When I have asked for help in the past, what was the outcome? Did it meet my expectations? This is what I wanted to get at, but as I have said above, maybe this has not happened, right? Or simply like the outcome was that I got help, acceptable help or whatever, right? I asked for help for regular things, and it met my expectations normally because I didn't ask for help for the big things that I needed help with because of some other reasons, like the trust thing or whatever. Have there been times when asking for help actually made things worse? I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, as I said, I think I don't. I don't think these are the right questions. What emotions do I experience when I consider asking for help? Anxiety, fear, embarrassment, guilt. In some, I consider embarrassment or anxiety. Some others, I don't know what I would consider. I guess embarrassment as well. How do these emotions influence my behavior? I think paralysis is the biggest one, right? I think these emotions, if anything, are paralyzing, which is pretty bad, I guess. How does my cultural background influence my views on asking for help? I don't think my cultural background is that influence. Maybe the Japanese part of me is like asking for help is wrong or something like that. I don't know. But I think that's reaching, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe not that much because my mom may have been like in the past of like try to do things for yourself or something. I don't know. I don't recall anything like that. Maybe it's just theorizing. Are there any societal norms or gender roles that affect my willingness to seek assistance? Maybe the masculine gender role does affect my willingness to seek help or something like that. Who knows? Do I worry about burdening others with my problems or needs? I don't know. I think in a way I do, but also in some other ways it's not that much this effect. How do I think others feel when I ask them for help? I don't know. I would say in that case I would say that they feel burdened. And when I get asked for help, I also feel burdened sometimes. So, but that is maybe the reason why I feel like that, because when I get asked for help in some situations, I feel burdened. Not sure exactly why, and it depends on the help. I feel kind of taken advantage of, or burdened in some sense. Depends on who asks, right? But for some people, I feel like that. And reflective practice, I'm not going to do that on this video. Okay, so I think a small recap of the video. I think that the part that I related the most was this kind of trust thing. I think it's a matter of trust. I don't trust that others can give the help, right? I think that is the main issue. It's less of what I initially thought that it could be, which is basically that I have been wronged when asking for help or something like that, right? That I have not been able to receive the help that I need. It's more of a trust thing, right? It comes from me. I think that is a good evaluation. Not good. I think that is the evaluation that I am more or less sticking with for now. And I think that is the conclusion of this video. But I think there is more to explore, and maybe I could do it definitely for myself, and maybe even in videos or something. I think in videos, I'm not sure if I will do a lot more of this in videos unless I get like a lot of requests. I don't think so. But if I get a lot of requests, maybe I will. But if I don't, I probably just will do it for myself, journaling or something like this, including kind of this exercise. So thank you for watching this video, and you can maybe check some other video. Maybe I will link some video that is reflective like this, and maybe you will enjoy that video as well.